Look at the amazing transformation here with Noah Bryant. 265 pounds on the left, 234 pounds on the right, and that's 10 months apart. So he cut down, he's bulked back up, and he's just bulked up ever so slightly, but stayed extremely lean. Keeping in mind, this transformation is 100% natural, so we obviously don't condemn people that choose to do it otherwise, but I think it's important to note how amazing that is, because a lot of times you'll see natural bodybuilders and they're not necessarily the most imposing muscular physiques. You know, a lot of time, you know, women in the figure division, the NPC, will have more money. But this is 234 pounds of lean muscle, being that lean. So we need to push to get him on that natural bodybuilding stage. I hope he decides to do so. And I will say this about Noah: he's my brother, but I love the work he's doing with nutrition. I referred him a number of clients. They've all reported back to me with astounding results. And I'm all about business before pleasure. So if he sucked, we could still be buds, brothers, and all that stuff, but I ain't gonna send him any clients. So I've been amazed to see the work he's done with people, and he's actually done 100% of the nutrition stuff for his own transformation. So what I like about what he's doing, you know, for him, he's done more of a keto, low carb approach, but he's not using that with everybody. He's adapting it to individual differences, sort of how I've talked a lot about here on training, which is important for diet too. So Noah's doing here a giant set, trap bar deadlift, leg press, then leg extension. So the trap bar deadlift he's doing for 12 reps. The leg press, he goes the first set of 25 reps, second 20, third 15. Then he does 50 reps on the leg extension. So on the trap bar, he's not touching the ground. And you want to do, if you're going to do this, you want to make sure you wear straps if grip's going to limit you, because we're training. We're after, you know, this is like a so-called leg day. So we're not going to let your grip limit you. Then next, and he's doing that where the continuous tension style, where he's not actually touching the ground. Okay, so legs are a huge weakness and they cut up a ton. He's training legs twice a week, followed by leg press, and he's doing that for 25 reps. And then he's doing leg extensions for 50 reps using a slow rhythmic style here. And his legs still aren't the strongest point, but they've come up immensely. It's amazing, because this is somebody that's, you know, he was more of an endomorph type of guy. A lot of people told him he's crazy when he started his transformation. His body just wouldn't get that look, and it has. And he's an NCAA champion in the shot put, so he's done a lot of work for his posterior chains, hamstrings, explosive work, but it's always been much lower volume compared to bodybuilding. So what that means is a lot of times for people that have trained this type of way, or powerlifters and stuff, so say they do, you know, regular squats, pause squats, and glute hams, leave the gym or whatever, you know, they might get in 25, you know, reps in the entire workout. So look at this entire giant set. I mean, he's getting almost 250 reps when you count the whole thing together. So that's going to really bring his legs up. When I got into bodybuilding, did that myself, this was huge for me, is really getting a lot of that volume in. So this is his first day. His second day of leg training, what he does is, it's not as intense of a day, so what he'll do is the Hatfield overload squats, 370 for 20 reps, 2 sets. He probably could do that. He's done over 500 pounds for 20 reps, so it's, you know, it's a moderate intensity. Then the slider leg curls, he goes 15 reps for 4 sets, and traditionally we do not train hamstrings at higher reps because they're predominantly fast twitch muscle fiber group, but he's done so much of that type of explosive training, he actually gets a benefit from there. Followed by backwards sled drags. He goes 30 yards, 270 pounds for 6 sets, and that's a wrap on the second day. So this is actually one of my favorite giant sets for leg training. So I've used this with a few different people, and have all enjoyed it and got good results from it. I don't know if they enjoyed it; they got good results from it. So what he emailed me after this was saying, Noah was very surprised at the quad activation with the trap bar. And of course, he threw in as much easier than his lower back. And he also said he almost threw up, but I mean, with these astounding results, he's just going to deal with that. So, I mean, if you think if put it this way, you know, most people think they train pretty hard, but the reality is, you know, their training hard would be the equivalent of, you know, some kind of shoving match outside of a frat house at USC. Where the kind of training we're talking about here, this is a knife fight in an alley in Tijuana, so it's a big difference, okay? So why the trap bar deadlift? So the trap bar deadlift, obviously we use squats all the time, so I don't think we're not choosing it over that, but It does utilize a lot more quad than a typical deadlift would, but it also hits the hamstrings a lot more than a typical squat would. I remember back in the day, Stuart McRobert, the dude that wrote the abbreviated training stuff, used to mention it should be called a squat lift. So the trap bar deadlift's gonna would actually be, you know, if you had to pick one lift, you could make a great case for it being the one lift to pick because it hits the quads, hams, glutes, erectors, lats, traps. And if you're doing it for, you know, without straps, bodybuilding, even grip stuff, and you're not having to use that mixed grip, and it obviously adds a ton of functional strength and power. So we're not going to make you pick one lift, but if you had to pick one, I think that wouldn't be the worst choice in the world. So finishing off this giant set here, looking strong. And yes, we have done these leg extensions in the peak contraction style too, but this looks really good in this slow rhythmic style, bringing up the quads. Definitely they've come up a ton lately, so we're very excited about this. And I think Noah's gonna have the tools to make a splash on the natural bodybuilding stage if he decides to go that direction. And we're just making sure he finishes these off here, even if assuming the form. So when these higher reps, we're allowing cheat within reason. So if you have to use a little momentum, as long as you can keep that good tension on the quads there. Having to stop here in a rest pause style, but he's done a ton so far. Looking good. I was amazed when he came out here to Texas to train, when Bryant and I were training bodybuilding back in 2006. That's the only other bodybuilding training he's ever done in his life. He came out here for a month just to do something different, and he ended up being able to hang the whole time. You know, most people we went through so many people that want to join us for a train. It would almost be like just comedy to see who'd want to come in and train. One dude got so mad after a workout. This is not a joke. He literally left that day and got a plane ticket home early back to Indianapolis or somewhere. And that's actually not a joke. This really did happen, and it was bad. So but Noah was able to hang the whole time. Band resisted Romanian deadlifts here. Wanted to get him a little slower in the negative, but he's obviously really fatigued at this point. So the band's going to really help. You know, we do that slower eccentric with the band pulling down, sort of that overspeed effect is going to make, and you slow down the eccentric a little bit, you're kind of fighting against it, providing some overload to the hamstrings there, because the hamstrings are one of their function is to be a synergist or assist in extending the hips there, not just leg curls and knee flexion there. So what you want to do on these, he should be getting a slightly slower eccentric, and then when you get down, you want to explode back up to the top. So it's almost like, as I say, almost sort of hump the bar back up. The Nordic leg curl here, these are one of my. I've got a couple other videos on these. You see the video there, Noah Syndergaard doing these, but it's not just people like that. The literature on injury prevention Nordic leg curls is astonishing how much there is, but it's actually a great move for hypertrophy. Obviously, eccentrics can be they're essential in maximizing hypertrophy, and when you overload them with a slow negative like this, that's really tough to do it how he's doing right there, especially this late in the workout. And if you've never given this movement a try, I highly suggest it. And if you don't have someone to hold your ankles, try those alligator tears, my friend. You can see how sort of a jerry rig style of doing right here. So some beautiful strings of ham coming in. Okay, so the hip abduction, and he did the hip abduction and hip adduction. So adduction, adductions where you squeeze in, abductions where you squeeze out. And he said this made him feel a little funny doing it. I remember the guy that primarily did it growing up at the gym was this weird dude that wore spandex, and you saw him the other day, and he's still wearing spandex, his 80s muscle shirt, but it definitely has had a huge difference in his leg development. So if you want to get in contact with Noah about any kind of nutrition coach or anything, the link is in the bio at the bottom. Thanks.